You say yes. Yeah, let's meet this weekend. Sure, I'll come. Sounds fun. And in that moment, you actually mean it. But then the day arrives. And suddenly, the idea of going feels exhausting. Heavy. Almost impossible. So you cancel. Not because you don't care. But because something inside you quietly says, stay. And here's the strange part. You feel relief the second you cancel. So why does something you wanted start to feel like something you need to escape from? If this is something you do, you're not broken. You're not selfish. You're not secretly a bad friend. This behavior makes more sense than you think. Because your brain isn't trying to sabotage your life. It's trying to protect you from something it believes might hurt. Even if that something is just a normal evening out. And that's where it gets confusing. Because on the surface, canceling plans looks like avoidance. But underneath, it's often about safety. Emotional safety. Mental safety. Nervous system safety. Your brain isn't asking, do I want to go? It's asking, will I feel okay when I'm there? And sometimes, the answer is no. There's a moment this behavior usually begins. It's not when you make the plan. It's later. Maybe the day of. Maybe a few hours before. Something shifts. You start imagining the details. The noise. The energy. The expectations. What you'll say. How you'll act. How long you'll stay. And suddenly, what felt simple feels heavy. This is where your nervous system comes in. Your mind is running ahead, scanning for possible discomfort. Not danger, exactly. Just friction. Effort. Emotional demand. And your body responds before you even fully understand why. A slight tension. A quiet resistance. Canceling becomes a way to regulate that feeling. Not because you don't care, but because your system is trying to return to calm. Sometimes, it goes deeper than that. It connects to how you learn to relate to people in the first place. If closeness has ever felt unpredictable. If connection has ever come with pressure, judgment, or emotional cost. Your brain remembers that. Not as a clear thought, but as a pattern. So even when you're invited into something safe, your system hesitates. You might want the connection, but part of you is still preparing for discomfort. So you create distance. Canceling becomes a quiet way to stay in control of that distance. Not because you don't value people, but because closeness has never felt entirely effortless. There's also the weight of expectation. Plans don't just mean showing up. They mean being on. Being social. Engaging. Present. And if you're already mentally tired, emotionally stretched, that expectation can feel like too much. Modern life doesn't leave a lot of room for recovery. You carry conversations from work. Unfinished thoughts. Lingering stress. So when a plan approaches, your brain calculates the cost. Do I have enough energy for this? And if the answer feels uncertain, canceling becomes the easier path. Not the happier one. Just the safer one. And then there's identity. The version of you that says yes is often an ideal version. More social. More open. More available. The version of you that cancels is the real-time version. The one who knows exactly how much energy you have left. There's a gap between those two. And canceling is where that gap shows up most clearly. It's not about inconsistency. It's about two different truths trying to exist at the same time. Who you want to be. And who you are in that moment. But here's the part nobody tells you. Canceling plans doesn't just remove something. It gives something back. The second you decide not to go, something in you relaxes. Your body softens. Your thoughts slow down. It's almost immediate. That relief isn't random. It's your nervous system returning to a state it understands. Familiar. Predictable. Controlled. In a world that constantly asks you to stretch, canceling is a way to come back to yourself. Like stepping into a quiet room after too much noise. And this doesn't stay the same forever. As you grow, the feeling shifts. In your younger years, canceling might feel like escape. A way to avoid awkwardness or uncertainty. Later, it becomes something else. More subtle. You still want connection. But you're more aware of your limits. More selective with your energy. Plans aren't just plans anymore. They're decisions about where your attention goes. So the same behavior takes on a different meaning. It's no longer just about avoidance. It's about calibration. Figuring out what you can hold, without losing yourself in the process. At its core, this behavior is a form of regulation. It brings your system back to balance. It reduces the mental load of anticipation, the emotional effort of showing up. It restores a sense of control, like pulling a blanket over yourself after a long day, or dropping an anchor in the middle of chaos. It's not about rejecting people. It's about returning to a space that feels manageable. A familiar room, an old friend, your own company. And maybe that's why it feels so complicated. Because you can care deeply about people and still cancel. You can want connection and still choose distance. You can be reliable in your intentions and inconsistent in your actions, all at the same time. There's no single explanation that fits perfectly, just layers of past experiences, of current energy, of quiet emotional calculations happening in the background. So if you've ever sat there, phone in hand, heart slightly heavy, typing out that message again, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means your mind is trying to find a version of the moment where you feel okay. Even if it costs you something. Even if it's misunderstood. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about being flaky. It's about being human. Trying to balance connection and comfort. Presence and peace. And sometimes, choosing the place where you can finally exhale. And if this made you feel understood, if you saw a part of yourself in these moments, then quietly stay here for a second. And when you're ready, you can subscribe, turn on the bell, and share this with someone who might need to hear it too. Not because they need fixing, but because they deserve to feel understood.